So,
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Wrestling Wednesdays. It's your boy Jay Dash. I'm here with the posse as always. Uh, D and Eugene, how you guys doing?
doing all right. Can't complain. Well, I can, but I won't.
Doing fine before this 4th of July weekend.
Yes, yes, yes. Fourth of July weekend. Also, Spider Man's out, so I guess we gotta make plans to go see that. D, I don't know if you want to see that one or not, but
Oh, I
um,
must.
all right.
I have.
I don't know if it's a must for me, but I'm definitely gonna watch it.
You know it is. Don't fake it,
Nah,
man. You be going to bed dreaming of Spider
I
Man.
know,
Oh, Spider Man,
I know, I
shoot your
do,
webs at me.
I do.
I
So
got
we have a very, very, I guess, a big episode today because we all got access. I believe we all got access to Fyter Fest, and that is something that we need to talk about right out of the gate.
Oh
Fyter
yes.
Fest. Um, I don't know that I liked it as good as Double or Nothing. I'm start by saying that. I would probably give it if we're saying that Double or Nothing was a 9 or a 10 out of 10, anywhere between that. I think we all agree that Double or Nothing was great. I would say that this is about a solid 8, somewhere
Oh
between
yeah.
8 and 9 out of 10. Which for a full pay per view that was free, to get a free pay per view that's an 8 out of 10 is like getting a 20 out of 10.
Oh
So
yeah.
I feel that that was very, very solid. I don't know what you guys would rate it, but I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 for Fyter Fest.
you. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say yeah, 8. Maybe for me, maybe it's between 7 and 8, but
Mm-hmm.
still, it's still a good show.
And I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a strong holding 8. I
Yes.
wanna I really would like to bump it to maybe 8.5 because it had a strong finish,
Yes.
but it, but you still, it wasn't a bad show by any means. It was just a little slower than Double or Nothing. Well,
I still
the
felt it
thing,
was paced well,
yeah,
despite what we're saying. I felt it was paced well.
hmm
I mean, for example, the first match, they came out of the gate on the pre-show swinging for the fences. I mean, they came out swinging for the fences on the pre-game show with that triple threat tag team. I'm just gonna
right,
call out some of the things that I took notes on as far as that match goes, like some of the moves that we saw, like the combination moves, which were like, man, where do we get this type of wrestling? This is insane. Like they had the when Scorpio Sky did the jump on top of the Unprettier, the jumping double foot stomp.
yeah,
When Frankie Kazarian was given the Unprettier, that was sick. When
uh
I don't know the guy's names from Private Party, but when the one dude did the jumping Hurricane Rana, like when I think it was Kazarian who
the
was on the
orange
top.
dude,
Yes, when he did
uh, it's
the jumping
it's
up, we jumped to grab him from the top rope with his feet, Hurricane Rana into the cutter. I
hmm
mean that was sick. And then when the slingshot where his partner slung him back into the ring into that tornado DDT.
oh yeah,
I mean, that was just insane, and so things like that I thought were just incredible for an opening match to come out of the gate throwing blows like that. Like
Mark
that was insane.
Mark Quinn, yeah, most insane. I mean, what they did, man. I mean, and it really wasn't. And I don't want to downplay it by any means because it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All they did was just take simple moves we used to seeing in wrestling matches and just combine them.
Exactly, but
I mean,
sometimes less is more, right? We
yeah,
don't always need this
no, you
a
don't
double
always have to.
flip into something.
Right,
Sometimes less is more.
exactly, because just a simple tweak can make it look that much more devastating.
Sure,
Like the simple stomp into the unprettier.
sure.
I mean, really.
Yes. What was your opinion of the
So
match, Eugene?
I thought it was fantastic. really good, solid opening, especially since it's a pre-show match.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was I want to say that one, and then the alley match was the only ones I was able to catch. I was unfortunately not able to catch the Nakazawa hardcore one.
Okay. So, yeah, and I think, wasn't the alley match second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, right out of the gate, as I said, they started out, on fire. And I didn't see the promo that the librarians cut because I was told, or when I was listening to somebody review the show, they were essentially saying that promo kind of took the audience out of it. Like, people really don't seem to care about the double librarian shtick that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was if I had to pinpoint anything, that was probably the worst. Well, yeah, I'm going to say it. The worst part of the show.
And I've heard that.
As far as promos go.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, because that was really nothing too. It went on too long, and it already wasn't getting any real draw in the. I mean, when they started it, so they should have kind of found a way to nix that pretty early, man.
And not only that, I was told that apparently Leva Bates is supposed to be really good, and that this gimmick is below her. And I've also been told that the other librarian, the guy, I don't know his name, but I was told that he's supposed to be a great heel where he doesn't need this either. So if if they're saying that they're going to be organic with the people, I'm not saying that they need to kill the gimmick now, but if this is what people are saying, then they need to go ahead and either give it another try. Maybe when the TV show starts, it could go different, but it doesn't mean they need to stick to something if it's not working, right?
Yeah, and if it continues to fail, they could just have it where the characters decide, they just want to break out of that whole gimmick altogether.
Yeah.
And be who they really are, because that'll be a nice twist from a fan standpoint. Oh, screw this librarian crap. This is how it is, blah, 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 and then let them just go at it. They will be a way where they can find themselves or reinvent themselves right in front of you,
Sure.
Just almost kind of like Stone Cold did with his career. Of course, he didn't do it live, in front of the audience, but he just threw away the whole ringmaster idea and became Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they could take that little formula and just do it right in front of you. That'll be a nice twist, like I said, from a fan standpoint.
So, and I didn't think the match was terrible. I didn't think it was special, but apparently the reason why the crowd wasn't involved, they said the gimmick was just that bad that it may have warped the crowd's mindset. I did like Allie's outfit. It actually, and I don't know if she did this on purpose, it kind of looked like Kitana from Mortal Kombat, and considering CEO was going in at the same time, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if that's what her inspiration was, but it actually just turned out to fit that. And so I was actually cool with, the fighting game community filling in the majority of the audience. Like, I recognize a lot of faces in the audience because, I'm that's a community I used to be a part of. So, a lot of the stuff that they did throughout the show paid homage to them, and I thought that was really cool. So, for me, a lot of these things were better, but I don't think the match was anything special, but I don't think it was anything detrimental either. And of course, it was setting up Allie versus Brandy, which is at the next pay-per-view, which is next weekend, right? I think it is.
Wait a minute. No, you said 2 weeks, right? And
2
we
weeks.
just saw it this weekend.
So it won't
be this weekend. It'll be the following.
Yeah, the following weekend, right? Yeah.
So next weekend,
13th.
July 13th.
Yes. Okay. So we have that coming up as well. It was okay. It was okay.
Right.
I mean, they did their job of getting you invested in the show with the first tag team match, the triple threat, and then there's no way they could have kept going up, because I think the problem was, once you saw Double or Nothing, you almost expected everything to be perfect from this point forward, and that's just impossible to do, especially when you're trying to introduce new characters and all those things. But I'll say that it wasn't good. It wasn't terrible. It introduced Allie to the AEW world. So
right. Yeah. Well, I would say this. With Double or Nothing, at least for us being the first time that we saw one of these pay-per-views, they set a bar.
Exactly.
and it's pretty high. Now you can't fault them if they don't reach it. But
Sure.
what you can say about this pay-per-view or this free-for-view,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to call it, is they really didn't have, you know, maybe other than the oily guy and that gamer guy, and I hate to say that like that,
Mm-hmm.
don't mean to be disrespectful. Really wasn't no throwaway matches.
No, and
They may not have been great, but at least they wasn't just complete garbage like some of the stuff you see on other promos.
sure,
Other
sure.
programs.
And
So
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, because at least at the worst, the match is building up to something else.
Yes.
And all of these two free reviews that we're looking in between is building up to what's this All Out coming up.
Yes.
So if they don't meet the bar, I'm okay with that as long as they're not just giving you straight up garbage.
Yes.
Now, when All Out get here, that's when I really expect them to top
to knock it out of the park.
There you go.
Yeah, and I agree. And speaking of the gamer guy, that was the Michael Nakazawa defeating Alex Jabali. Jabali is the guy who's behind CEO. He's been doing it for years. I think this is the 10th year that they've done it. Fighting game tournament. So, it was more so as an appreciation. If you all don't know, Kenny Omega is deeply involved in the fighting game community, to the point where he's done promos. He's got an arcade stick, fighter stick, like that he's endorsing, the Kenny Omega stick. He plays fighting games all the time. A lot of his moves come from Street Fighter. So it was just almost like a perfect, I guess, meshing this was like, I guess, thank you, CEO, because Kenny Omega always shows up to CEO. He does things with Xavier Woods, with the exception of this year, because obviously Vince told Xavier Woods, you're not going and doing anything with Kenny Omega, but they've had this long feud going on at CEO for years. So that's just to fill the people in who don't know. I guess I'm the nerd who knows about both these worlds, so I'm just filling you in on it. And another throwaway match. It was just for the fans. And that was the last match of the pre-show, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, my only thing is, I felt that if it's a pre-show, they should have opened up with Ali Leva Bates. They should have done the Michael Nakazawa, Alex Jabali second, and then finished with the triple threat tag team, because the triple threat tag team match was through the roof crazy exciting. And what I'm saying is, considering this was, a free pay-per-view where you just had to go create an account on Bleacher Report and you could watch it for free. But if this were a paid pay-per-view, they need to leave you with that, oh my god, I have to keep watching this. And I think that if they would have finished it with that triple threat tag team match, they would have left you with that, oh my god, I have to keep watching this. So that's just my opinion of the pre-show overall. But if you look at it holistically, pacing-wise, from a holistic standpoint, it worked. It's just, was everybody willing to make the Bleacher Report account? I guess if you're a real wrestling fan, of course you were, right? So, it is what it is. And next we had the SEMA defeating Christopher Daniels. What did you guys think of that one?
Well, actually, I think it was a pretty solid match.
Yeah.
Competitors, I wasn't overly moved, but like I said, I wasn't blown away, but I wasn't disappointed either. I didn't feel, I didn't sit there at the end feeling like, man, that's so many minutes of my life I'm not gonna get back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just a solid match, and apparently these two had good chemistry. They'd done this match for years, and
Yeah, it was a very respectable and professional showing between both of them, and I guess the only thing that was missing for me, it wasn't so much the action, is I guess I was missing a story build-up.
Yeah, and I think that until they get their TV show, right, it's going to be hard to really be invested into just a solid match, because we don't have a connection to the story that they're trying to present, other than they have a historic rivalry. And not their fault.
No, I'm cool with that. It's just like, even if It's like what was the payoff to this match? Were they fighting for a contention?
Yes,
What
it,
it was a
it was to.
grudge match? I mean, what was the point of the match? I guess.
Well, they were fighting to see who was going to fight Kenny Omega at the pay-per-view next weekend.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all
I think
right. Now,
that was already established though. I think it was already established. Kenny
okay,
was
but
gonna
then
fight
that's just.
Cena.
I guess that's just what I missed then
Mm-hmm.
of
And
it.
so
So,
SEMA wins. So SEMA is going to fight Kenny Omega at the next pay-per-view, the one that leads up to All Out.
all right.
So, and I thought I actually don't like Meteoras as finishers, but for whatever reason, they made SEMA's Meteora look good at the end. I don't know why that. It's just a meteor from the top rope on somebody because I know I complained about it from the Rascals guy on Impact doing it, and I was like, whatever. But I was honestly shocked that I didn't mind SEMA's. It's just certain people add a certain
Maybe,
flair to certain moves that make
yeah,
them look better than when somebody else does it. Like
yeah.
till the end of time, I'll hate John Cena's shoulder blocks from the ropes. Till the end of time, I can't
Oh,
stand
you
those.
ain't the only one. I mean, oh my God, that's just a waste of shoulder block. It's just, I
Yeah,
mean, they look so, they look so, they look so. What's the help me out, Eugene? What am I looking for here? John Cena's shoulder blocks. I was so glad he cut it down from 4 to 2 at least.
I can't
The
even do
five
two.
moves of death or the five moves of doom.
Yeah,
Down for?
I can't even take two of those shoulder blocks though. That's the
I know
problem.
Yeah.
it's like they just look so cliched and no frills, no nothing. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway, to
cliche.
what you was saying about old boy's finisher, it's just like when Jake the Snake back in the day when he did the DDT. Of course, he was the one who invented it. But when he did the DDT, it just looks so much better than everybody else's now.
Yeah, for
It don't
sure.
matter what kind of flair they put on it, it'll never equal Jake the Snake's version.
For whatever reason, it's ingrained in my mind that Jake the Snake. It just seems like he dropped him so much faster. It was so
Yeah,
much more
way more,
devastating.
way more
Yeah,
snap.
yeah,
It
exactly.
was like Randy Orton's out of nowhere.
Yeah,
But that's the originator of out of nowhere. Because
yeah.
yeah, you could be beating the crap out of him and all this mess, and next thing you know, he grab you, wham, it's over.
It's over. Yeah, so I agree. And now the Meteor was not Jake the Snake DDT level, but
But,
it was definitely
but the
better.
point is, it's something about the way he does it that makes it work for him. Where
Exactly.
he could sell it better.
Exactly. And this is honestly my first time where I've looked at Frankie Kazarian. It's like, man, this guy's looking old,
Uh huh.
Um, you know, but we forget Frankie Kazarian's nearly 40 years old. You
Wait,
know,
Kazarian or Daniels?
sorry, Daniels, both of them, but Christopher Daniels in this match.
Both of
you
them.
But
know, so but it is what it is, But he's getting up there in age, and I
hmm
can't expect him to stay as an in ring talent for
right.
a long time, through this AEW birth. But maybe because he's cool with Cody, he can always move into the producer role.
But
I know
of
that
course,
Cody doesn't want a lot of producers, but considering that Daniels has been a part of this being the elite crew for so long, that they'll be okay.
and
Yeah.
he would have. I would think he would have valuable input anyway because of his experience and how long he's been in the business. He knows the ins and outs of it.
I agree, and
He knows everything.
I think I heard somewhere that this Shima or Sema, whichever way it's pronounced, they're from that what is it called, Oriental Wrestling something
Yeah.
Yeah,
entertainment
All the way from China.
from China,
uh
and I
huh.
think Kazarian
Or
went over there and started
yeah.
training those guys with Sema. So I think that
Right.
he does have experience as a trainer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
he's starting. We just have to be honest. He's starting to look old, and the last thing you
yeah.
want to see is people going well beyond their prime. You want people to finish on top. I'm not saying that he's 2 months away from it, but hopefully in 2 to 3 years he realizes that he's got to find something
One-
else.
yeah, one power nap from retirement.
Exactly.
Well, I would think for him in the ring. I mean, he's so well versed. He probably need to just change his style up a little more. I would say go with mat wrestling
which he has. You know, remember
Yeah.
those days from him in the X division back in
Yeah.
TNA. He can do, and maybe that's what I wanted more from this match, is if they
Mm,
had done a lot more chain wrestling, like mat style chain
yeah.
wrestling. I think
Yeah.
that if they had done, you know, an exhibition of mat style chain wrestling, that could have added the needed spark that this match probably needed, and put it
And
over
it
the top for two guys that are obviously older than other people but could still go.
and it
So yeah,
mm-hmm.
you know,
And
get
I was just
introduce
say,
this chain mat wrestling.
yeah, exactly, to this new audience.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and then whenever you have to do some aerial or anything close to it, he could just do it in spots.
Yeah,
He
and I
just
think that
like
that would have made this match a lot better. And maybe that was the missing flair that we were saying that it needed. You know, just let's
mm-hmm.
go some old school, realist. You know, I mean, like, you know, let's pull out some chain wrestling that's just really good. You know, if they would have done some nice chain wrestling spots in there, I think that could have taken the match to another level.
Because you think about this, that'll be, in my opinion, that'll be good for the overall product. If
Mm-hmm.
you start introducing this style, and then I mean, because now you got not just guys flipping around and doing, you know, heavy impact, you know, moves and stuff. They're doing some classic mat wrestling
Mm-hmm.
technique. Then you're gonna get more versatility between matches when you find somebody who can do that. Then come out and then they take it on the opponent who has, you know, aerial styles or, you know, all the high impact moves. Then you got contrast between styles,
Yeah.
which will make it more interesting. I mean, like say Samoa Joe did with your boy Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
You know Ricochet gonna be flying around the ceiling and everything, you know,
Yeah.
jumping off rooftops. And then you got Samoa Joe, who's one of the best strikers in the business and keen on mat wrestling.
Yeah.
So when you had those two styles clash, you had a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same could be said for this, but now you could have more versatility between several matches like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the advantage I see of incorporating this style into the programming.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's move forward. I think we said it was just a solid match. Next match
Mm-hmm.
we have is the triple threat between the women. We had Rio, who defeated Nyla Rose and Yuka Sakazaki. Passable match. I mean, it had a few good spots, I'll say that. Like the Nyla Rose knee when Rio was draped over the top rope. That was actually really solid. So it had a
Oh
few
yeah.
spots, but, you know, just another one of those matches where it was just like, okay, match is going on.
Well, this one was well, you know, we both thought it was a slow start, but it had a nice finish.
Yeah, it picked up. It had a
Yeah,
really slow start,
rescued
and it picked up. But overall, I would say it's, you know, just another solid match. Nothing special. It wasn't like the first Joshi wrestling match where Aja Kong was, you know, doing, you know,
Most of
backdrop busters and things like that. You know, when she was backdropping people through the mat, it seemed, when she was delivering snaps and everything like that. There was nothing like that where you're like, oh, other than, you know, the knee, the flying knee definitely made you say that. But it, you know, as I said, it had its good spots. I'm not gonna sit there and say it was a bad match. It was a solid work with a few good spots. You know, and I think it's gonna take people a while to get, you know, I guess comfortable with the Joshi wrestling style. I guess. And maybe that's what it is that, you know, we're still trying to learn more about Joshi wrestling.
Right.
And I think, you know, and this is one where I'm going to have to say literally has no story to anything. There was nothing on the line, and so there was no investment. And I don't think that the match was great enough to be a match with no story, no investment. And I think that that's really the bigger problem with this match than anything else. Like if there was a storyline attached or this led to something else, maybe we could see,
Right.
oh, okay, but that didn't exist, and maybe that's what hurt this
Yep.
match more than anything else.
No,
If anything, it made a story after it.
What happened at the end?
So Nyla. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You got it.
No, I was gonna say Nyla. I guess she was gonna congratulate Rio, and then I think she went for the choke or something like that. Or
Yeah,
like she was
yeah.
beating her up. And then after that, when Nyla left, I think Yuka tried to help Rio, and then I think Rio shoved Yuka.
Yeah.
There's
That's
something
right.
brewing there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she rescued her from Nyla.
Yeah, she first rescued her, then they turned on each other, basically, it seemed. Yeah,
But
I remember that. Yeah, like it wasn't necessarily they turned on each other like, no, I'm okay by myself. One of those things, but had to shove away. So yeah,
yeah.
I do remember that now.
But, so I think mainly this is probably just to showcase them,
Mm-hmm.
they in ring ability and all of that to sell them later on. I mean, like I said, because if that was like I said, no storyline, no build up, nothing to it, just a triple threat match.
Mm-hmm. And then the next match, has this is probably the match that I can think of with the most story involved leading up to the match, and I guess that's why we were heavily invested. I'd say maybe there's the one after this as well, not the one after this, but the a couple matches later. The Hangman Page, MJF, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, and of course the story behind this is MJF and Hangman Page obviously had beef from the last pay per view. Jungle
Mm-hmm.
Boy came out there when they were mocking Bret Hart as well.
Right.
So I don't remember if Havoc did, but
Yeah,
we had
Havoc
this.
did.
Okay, so we had this fatal four way going on, and of course MJF comes out there straight fire with the promo work in the intro. Straight fire. Yeah,
Oh
when
man.
the audience is screaming, "You suck! You suck! You suck!" He follows
Where?
up with one of the best line comebacks we said because of course there's a largely gamer based audience, so he already cracked on them for being gamers, basically saying I used to game too. I used to game all the time until I lost my virginity and started throwing shots at them like that, and but then when they were screaming that
Oh man.
you suck, yeah, well that mom's basement that you live in, she swallows, I was like, oh man, this guy straight
Nuclear heat,
fire.
man.
Oh man, and he creates his own heat. He's not
Yeah.
He does.
company created heat. Where the
Right.
company is trying to create the heat for you. He creates his own heat.
But
And that's
that
what you want
part,
from a heel.
that part of but until I lost my virginity,
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh
I mean the guy's magic. And good thing is these were two of the guys who they're clearly are saying are the future of the company in Hangman
man.
Page and MJF. I don't think Hangman I'm still not 100% sold on the I'm just the good guy. I've got the wrestling look, that Hangman Page has. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
good worker. He it
Yeah.
seems like he needs MJF to help get him over because I haven't really heard a lot of Hangman's mic work to say that he can do this on his own, and it seems like he's just I'm going to be the guy that shuts up MJF right now, right? It seems like
Uh-huh.
that's his thing. So a lot of this Hangman Page character is revolving around MJF right now, and if Hangman is going to be your future, then this is the right guy to say that we're gonna, these two are gonna be the core moving forward. And if Hangman is, we don't know how good his mic work is, or can he sell a program off his mic work. Well, I don't know, but we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna put him with a guy who can, and
So
make this his biggest rival. And I think that that's smart.
MJF is basically the Joker to his Batman,
Essentially.
Yeah.
in a sense.
And I felt the match was solid. Had a few good spots, like the Jungle Boy backflip on the outside was unique.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, of course, MJF's mockery of Bret Hart when he went to the sharpshooter
Oh
was
yeah.
fantastic. Um, but it was just a solid match. Another
Right.
solid match. But I think we cared more because there was a story behind it.
Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. And at some point, MJF gonna have to get an upper hand.
I agree.
I mean,
I
because so
agree.
far, so far, at least out of the two shows we've seen, Hangman got the best of him.
But remember, MJF didn't like he didn't take the pin. So
Right. Right.
they're keeping him safe still as best they can. They're keeping
Mm-hmm.
him safe, but you got to understand, and I understand why they're doing what they're doing. Hangman Page right now needs all the momentum if we're supposed to honestly see him going against Chris Jericho to become the world champion, the first ever AEW world champion. He needs
Right.
to come out on top of everything so we could start to buy into the fact that Hangman Page is going to be that guy. Because it said, I'm still not there. So I think that he needs all of these wins. Chris Jericho is just such an established wrestler. We know his
Mm-hmm.
mic work. We know his in ring. We know
Mm-hmm.
all of those things about Jericho. And right now, the only thing we know about Hangman Page is he's going to be the face guy who's, I'm the heart of this program. But can you see this guy with the championship belt leading your show into the television program? Does he have the mic skills to sell out a stadium, or is he going to always need to rely on a heel like a Chris Jericho or something like that? And I think that's why they're doing this, and I think it's the smartest move. And until Hangman gets a mic, I won't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion of it.
You got to be able to sell himself.
Exactly. They can't tell me that Hangman Page is the guy. I have to believe that Hangman Page is the guy.
Right.
Well, he's got one more chance to convince you. He's facing Kip Sabian at the next pay-per-view.
Okay.
Well, see, the only person that kind of, I guess, got away with that, making a big run without really doing too much mic skills was Goldberg doing that WCW push.
Yeah, but Goldberg had this, they built him up with the 8,453-0 record.
Right.
He's just this big muscle bound. Hangman doesn't have that look. And it's not like Hangman is mopping the floor talent-wise against everybody else. Like, it's not like he's pulling a Kurt Angle out there, right? Where when Kurt Angle was in his prime, or, someone with the in-ring ability of a Chris Benoit, where he's just mopping you up with his, amazing ability to where you can buy that.
So far, he's just resilient.
He's resilient, but what I'm saying is the other people that they're putting him against are talented as well. So he's not necessarily pushing the bar in any way for him to do this Goldberg-esque gimmick, in my opinion.
No. I'm not saying for him to do a Goldberg-like gimmick. I'm just saying as far as somebody like trying to get a major push without really relying on their mic skills too much, and then or not having a mouthpiece for him like Brock has Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
He just
maybe,
now he just
maybe he
get
can.
it off
Maybe he can talk. Maybe he can. We just don't know. We don't know yet.
But that's what you're saying. You just haven't heard him, so you don't know either way.
Exactly. But what I'm saying, moving into a TV deal, I don't know that it'd be good to put the belt on him and have heels chasing him for a start of a TV program until I have seen that he's capable of doing that. Like right now, I'm still thinking Jericho needs to win it, because it's always better when the face is chasing and trying to overcome versus the reverse, when a heel has to take it off of a face, right? It always seems to be more entertaining. And I think even if Jericho wins dirty, right? I'm okay with Jericho winning dirty, where Hangman should have won, and then Jericho wins dirty, and now Hangman's got to work his way back up. That'd be okay with me.
That's the classic heel formula, because when a heel holds on to a belt, it builds up a lot of anticipation.
Exactly.
Where somebody you waiting for that somebody, if not your hero, somebody to get that belt off of him one way, some way, shape, or form. And so I know what you're saying. A good bad guy, a good heel is going to bring more prestige to a championship.
And honestly, I wouldn't be upset if Jericho won dirty, because we all know that Jericho, number one, is worthy. So it's not like Jericho, if Jericho gets a clean win, it matters for Jericho. He's not one of those guys. Jericho is long established. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of wrestling. He doesn't need to have that clean win. He already beat Kenny Omega clean. So, so we already know that he can do it. So if he has to, beat Hangman Page in a dirty tactic, that actually helps Hangman Page, in my opinion. So I wouldn't even mind if Jericho did that. So, it's just one of those things moving forward. I don't know if you guys have any other comments about this match.
Well, we pretty much said all we could at the moment for this one.
As I said, I enjoyed the match. Anytime MJF is on screen, it's going to be, must see. I mean,
Yeah.
he's way more must-see than The Miz. Let's put it that way. And a lot of that may not be The Miz's fault, but
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm
you
like,
know,
that's not
Yeah.
really Mrs. fault.
but he's, if you want to know who the must-see guy is in wrestling right now, it's obviously MJF.
I just
Yes.
wonder what if Miz and MJF got face to
Oh,
face
yeah.
in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or
So-
just in general, like
In general, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a
No,
look at. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no WWE influence, just
Yeah,
them
nothing.
two talking that dish, you know?
Next match, we had the Cody versus Darby Allin, and this
Yeah.
match took me a while to get into until I realized
Same.
that Darby Allin is a glorified bump
Bump
taker. This
Boom.
guy is taking bumps. He sells move. Like, basically, we're like, I'm Cody, and I'm established in this company. I'm the guy, and
Right.
I'm gonna put you over by you taking hella bumps. Like, that's all you're gonna do. I was like, wait, when this guy? I mean, you can ask D. I was like, when is this guy gonna actually amount some offense here? Like, I want to see what he could
You were
do.
saying it.
And then after a while, these bumps started getting crazier and crazier. You're like, wait, okay, this is his thing. He just takes bumps, But he sells the hell out of moves. He's lightning fast, fast.
I
And
didn't realize how small he is too.
yes, he's small, but just his movement, it was so good.
And they at least, and they gave him a backstory.
Yes, I mean, JR basically made this guy Darby Allin with a lot of things.
Yeah.
They all kind of did in a way. But by the end of the match, when I realized what it was, like, this is the never say quit, and how JR threw in this may be what he enjoys. He may like taking this punishment, and things like that. So, and the fact that Cody couldn't put him away, and Cody is the guy. So that they did a good job. I just hope next time we see him wrestle, now that we respect.
We know we can take it.
Yeah, we can respect how he can sell moves and take bumps. Like, what can he dish? And I think that's going to be the only question we have moving forward with Darby Allin. Like, I would like to see Darby Allin again, but this time I would actually like to see him amount some offense.
So Cody, in this match, Cody kind of Triple H'd him into fame, right?
Basically, right?
So we can see Darby Allin take on Sonny Kiss.
Yeah. Now hold on, though. Remember that bump where he jumped from the top rope to the ring apron?
To the
That
L.
was crazy.
Ooh, spines
Man,
first?
that hurt me.
Yes. I mean,
Just
that...
looking at
ooh.
him. I'm
And
like,
And even the one where he ran into the corner and somehow slungshot himself around the pole, it seemed like, into the...
yeah.
the it's like his head almost hits the gate. And on another podcast I was watching, I'm going to give the credit to Matt Morgan. He was saying that the way that those corner posts are, that they're very dangerous, those square shaped ones, and especially with him taking a bump like that, like, he could have really tore himself up. So that was, he just said he's a glorified bump taker right now, but it'd be interesting to see what he can do. And I remember that no, that wasn't the match you were into. You were in the final match that you were telling us about, Eugene. But it did put Darby Allin on the map. I know who Darby Allin is, and I wouldn't mind seeing him again now that we see what he can do as far as taking bumps. I want to see what he can do as far as offensively now too.
His moniker is just hard. He's hard to kill.
Yeah, basically.
He's going to be in the next pay-per-view as well.
Who's he fighting?
He's going to be in a 6-man tag with Jimmy Havoc and Janela
Okay.
against MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Sharon Spears, formerly known as Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that should be interesting.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. I want to see what Sammy Guevara could do. He's a Houstonian, actually. I don't know if you guys know that. Sammy Guevara is Houstonian.
So he was in that opening match in
Double or Nothing.
One of the opening matches.
Yeah. So the one with the panda gimmick. You remember that, Dion? The guy with the
Panda.
he came out wearing the panda head and everything. I don't know if you were there last time. When did you make the first match at the last one? No, because you guys were at the movies. You didn't. You guys missed a lot of the pre-show for Double or Nothing.
Oh,
So
double. Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Sammy Guevara, yeah,
the only thing I saw was that battle royal.
yeah. So Sammy Guevara, you can watch it on YouTube. The Sammy Guevara match that was on the pre-show. But
Right.
yeah, so I'm that does sound interesting. So see, it worked. It worked, and obviously with Shawn Spears being in there, we all know what should happen because the fallout of this match. What is you all's opinion on what happened at the end of the match, where Shawn Spears comes in and gives the unprotected head chair shot to Cody?
Pointless. I don't see what they. Okay, it left us in mystery. I hope they got something to follow up with that.
Well, they
Oh
do.
yeah.
And see, so this is the weird thing on what they were doing. There's a Twitter post that Shawn Spears put right after. So I don't know if AEW is going to do this going forward, where you have to be interactive with everything social media. But apparently it was Cody when he signed Shawn Spears. He basically said, obviously it was a work when they did this, and it's one of those things. I guess they had it on YouTube or something where he was basically, "Oh yeah, Shawn Spears, he'll be a great worker, and I'll just have him help the other guys get them to a better level, like something like that." He basically said there's
Ah.
no star potential to him. So
Oh,
that's what he said about Shawn Spears. So it seems like for a lot of this, you have to follow everything with the social media, and a lot of the stories, and maybe there were some stories for some of these other matches that are going on, but it's all via social media, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter. And right now, like I'm just gonna be honest, I don't have time to run around and let me jump on the AEW Twitter. Oh, now I got to
but
go watch this video right
but
here. I personally
that
don't have that time right now.
well, that's something they're gonna have to get straightened out. I imagine when they get their TV deal going, they'll start keeping us posted on
Yes,
these little Twitter
yes.
wars.
And
Not
yeah, like
doing that right
WWE
now.
does, like WWE does,
Right,
right? Like WWE
right.
says, oh, in case you didn't see the Twitter feed, here it is. They're gonna have to, oh,
Yeah, fill
they're gonna
you
have to
in
do
with that
that.
stuff. Right.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, and it's not something that I personally want to do. So I hope this is not the model moving
Hmm.
forward. And this is just me being 100% honest. Like I really would not follow all the Twitters, all the YouTubes, like especially with the amount of wrestling that we're watching just to keep up with this show.
Right.
Like I don't have
And
time now to go to all the Twitter feeds for all the wrestlers. I just don't have that time. Oh, did
so,
you see what they wrote on the Instagram picture and all? I'm like, no, I
yeah,
didn't. Sorry.
and I don't even have an iPhone, so I and I just got the old slide BlackBerry. You know,
Damn,
so
BlackBerry. Woo!
Blackberries?
yeah, well, it's kind of gray now, it's just
That
that
gray
old,
berry.
yeah, charcoal grayish berry now.
Mm-hmm.
But the only weird, I mean, other than just the total mystery behind it was he hit him on the left side of the head, but the right side was bleeding. I don't.
Yeah.
That's
Obviously a weird blading. Obviously wasn't thinking about it, but I think it's the whole. And even the commentators followed up with all concussion protocol and all the CTE
uh,
stuff. I think it was supposed to create that shock value, and now we have an
uh,
instant feud moving forward with Cody and Shawn Spears, right?
even though he hit him with the cushiony part of the chair and everything, but
Sure, but like people say, a chair shot's a chair shot to the head, especially unprotected, still hurts. So
uh-huh.
I guess that's all it is to build story and even with AEW, a lot of the stuff comes from the post show because MJF was because he says Cody is his mentor in the post show, and they all stay
Hmm.
kayfabe in the post show interviews like an MMA event basically, where they interview them
Yeah, they
Right.
do like.
afterwards and they all stay kayfabe. And MJF's like, oh, Cody's a man, he could fight his own battles, but if Shawn Spears ever walks to me, he said there's not going to be any talking. Like, the only talking I'm going to do is with my fist and things like that. And of course, as he's down, like, bullying all the announcer or the people asking him questions, all the press out there, he's still staying in character. But,
Right.
and then, Tony Khan apparently was like, oh, there's no need for, unprotected chair shots to the head and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know if it was a work, like Tony Khan wasn't on the work or Tony Khan was unaware, but it's creating the drama that's necessary. And now, obviously, we have a build up between Shawn Spears and Cody,
Yeah.
probably for the next paper. No, because you said I wonder when that's going to take place.
Maybe
Yeah.
All Out.
Well, I
That
thought.
might that could roll into the TV deal
Well,
though.
wait. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the pay-per-view where it's going to be the Young Bucks versus the Rhodes Brothers? This one
Yes,
No,
coming
no,
up?
this no,
no,
the one coming up, yes, is Fight for the Fallen. That's going to be the tag team with Young Bucks against the
So,
Rhodes
yeah, you're
Brothers.
right.
that's
All Out
that's
could be Cody versus Shawn
right.
Spears then.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, back up. So the Young Bucks and the Rhodes are not gonna fight it all out?
No.
No, no,
That's
Oh,
at
that's
Fight
gonna
for the
be
because
Fallen.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, because
oh,
this
okay.
pay-per-view is supposed to be like kind of the dedicated for the tribute, like kind of like tribute to the troops esque,
Uh-huh.
for AEW.
Okay.
So yeah, this is kind of promoted to be in that way.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, but that match is happening on this upcoming show.
Correct.
Okay. I thought that was gonna be for all out.
So,
Well,
No.
hell.
so there's now room for that, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some build-up in the Fight for the Fallen towards that.
Mhm.
Alright.
So there's that match. The next match we have on the card is the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite versus the Lucha Brothers Laredo Kid. This time it's like I'll say it. First the intro. The intro was fantastic for the Elite. Fantastic. The Ryukin and then the Akuma using the Raging Demon on the fan was just fantastic. So I'll start by saying that intro was great, and as I said, obviously I'm a fighting game nerd where I appreciated the hell out of that. But I would say that my only complaint about this match, I'm pretty sure you already know what it is, D. No Rey Fenix. It seems like Rey Fenix was protecting an injury. And
Yeah.
that's really my only complaint. Other than that, it definitely lived up to the hype as far as the match itself goes. But
Yeah.
Rey Fenix, other than that slingshot, that basically that backdrop, flipping, what I don't even know what you call it. No, that was insane too. But when Pentagon Jr. gave Rey Fenix the backdrop over that corner post and he flipped into, I think it was one of the Young Bucks on the outside in that corner.
Oh, that one.
That
Yes.
was
That was
sick.
scary.
Yeah, that was super scary. I mean, but it was sick. And I think and then of course the Spanish Fly, where he walked the ropes and did the Spanish Fly was incredible. So yeah, there was a couple of the triple Hadouken by the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega was great. Then he pops Laredo Kid up for a backflip bomb. I don't even remember that, the backflip bomb. Oh well, I wrote something here about I don't even know what a backflip bomb is, but apparently they did something else that was crazy. So, but the tightrope walk Spanish Fly was insane too. So, I just wish that there was more Rey Fenix in this match, and that's really my only complaint about this match. Other than that, the match was great. I don't know what you guys have on that one.
Yeah, I love the match.
The match just kicked ass all the way through, but yeah, like you said, I think Ray was still probably suffering from the last
Well,
paper.
Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. I think 2 weeks before this event faced the Young Bucks in Triple A and won the tag team titles back over there too. So maybe they did something insane over there.
Yeah, or probably re-aggravated something. Well,
They're scheduled to fight another match, I think, for Triple Mania in next month.
Okay. I mean, these guys have such good chemistry between each other that anytime they're in the ring, you can just expect it's going to tear the roof down. And I was telling Dee this as we were watching it. These Lucha Brothers can give a Canadian destroyer out of nowhere. Like, there is no setup. It's just like instantly into a Canadian destroyer, where it's like, huh? Like you know how you were talking about that Jake the Snake DDT, how it could just come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
These boys do that with a Canadian destroyer.
yeah. It's like he's just throwing a drop kick.
Yeah,
He just
like how
they just
fast they can
wow.
transition into a Canadian destroyer
Yeah,
is
because
beyond magic to me.
well, it's so and it happens so quick to you have to sit and think. Wait a minute, he just did a Canadian destroyer. At
Mm-hmm.
least for me, man. Like, hold on, man, because at first it looked all cool. Oh, the flip. Oh, look what he did. Wait a minute, the dude just did a damn Canadian destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's just that fast,
Yeah.
and it's just so fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
It
said,
is.
no setup, no stop to grab anything and look at the people. Nothing. It's just he flying out of one move and bam, and hit you
Mm-hmm.
with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean,
So I don't know. I thought that match was great. I thought it was really really good. I felt it was
mhm.
a great way to quote unquote end the pay per view.
Yeah.
You know,
And
because
it did.
yes, it ended the pay per view because remember that the following match was unsanctioned.
That's
AEW
right.
did not carry any responsibility for the match, even though they used the AEW announcers, the AEW
Uh,
ring, the AEW, but they had nothing to do with the next match. And this was the match that Eugene was looking forward to the most. And I will say, you know what, Eugene? You were right. This match was crazy. What was your opinion of this match, Eugene? And what are the memorable moments for you in this match?
I mean, well, going into the match, I was already excited, even without the unsanctioned rules. I think they input that unsanctioned rule like probably the week of,
Okay.
so I was already excited to watch it despite that. But now that they made a non-sanctioned, it's like okay, now they're just implementing like okay, you're free to just body slam them through barbed wire and use barbed wire chairs and use thumbtacks. So they just basically like okay, you can go ahead and use that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, yeah, no, it was just to expect. I'll admit, I thought there'd be a bit. I thought it'd be a bit more of a bloody affair, but just knowing like the two personalities in that
mm-hmm.
match. But I mean, even despite that, it was still a real good match. Lots of cool spots, lots of very hardcore spots.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have
That I,
wanted a bloodier match, honestly. Like,
yeah,
I'm just being honest. Like, I
yeah, yeah,
felt like the spots that they did were, enough to say, damn, these guys are insane. I think
yeah.
that was the whole point of the
The
match.
man,
the
besides, we got enough blood from the last pay per view.
Exactly. I don't know that, we really needed to have somebody, dusting roads and out there. I just think that they
he's
needed
still
to
getting the
have.
transfusion.
Yeah,
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 Dusty's still
exactly.
getting the transfusion.
So it was it put Joey Janela on the map, willing to take the back, what atomic drop, reverse atomic drop or whatever onto the thumbtacks feet first was.
Oh man,
oh
Oh,
yeah, that was like okay,
and
that was hardcore enough
yeah,
right there.
that
and to
was.
me, that cemented John Moxley and finished erasing Dean Ambrose.
I
Oh
agree.
To
I
yes,
me,
agree that from this point
amen.
forward he is John Moxley, and I was telling Dee the whole time like, why would you want to come back to this? Like, I don't get it. Like, you got yourself. I get it. I mean, that's passion. To say I want to come back and start doing things like this again. Like, man, you were getting paid a
yeah,
lot of money. Your wife is breaking glass ceilings in WWE. You know, you got everything going on as far as what anybody could truly ask for as far as the amount of money you're making and all those things. Even if you're unhappy with your job, I
right.
get it. You're unhappy with your job, you want to go on, so I get that. But to go back to that, like, man,
Well,
you
maybe
know.
he ain't gonna do it all the time though.
Oh,
Maybe he
I'm
just like
sure, but
he
was
just
it
like the option. Of,
unless yeah, maybe he likes the option, or maybe it's like what you said. Maybe he just was like, I got to erase Dean Ambrose,
oh,
and
he
I'm
did that.
going to show everybody who John Moxley is. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually did see the video build up for that. I did see the promo work afterwards where, Joey Janela sent John Moxley something basically saying, you ran off to this other company and I've been the guy who's been, doing the John Moxley stuff now. Like I'm the new face
Oh,
of
really?
hardcore and everything.
Okay.
And so Joey Janela had taken those senton flip bombs onto chairs and everything. Like they showed things like that. You remember where it's like, man, this guy's crazy
Yeah.
doing that.
Well, you see, you
But
shouldn't.
go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, see, Janela should have never said stuff like that, because that drives a man to pull your shoes off and drop you off.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
So,
People, I mean, you know how sinister that mess is,
oh,
man.
it was
I
crazy.
mean, it's thought out. I'm gonna go to the point of really just hurting this guy where it hurts the most,
Yeah.
the bottom of his feet. Whenever you want to screw up the bottom of somebody's feet, you evil, man.
Uh-huh.
Even the crowd was chanting, "You sick fuck! You
Yeah,
sick
exactly. Exactly.
But
So,
I'm gonna say this about this match. I have to give tons of props, not just for the bumps, but well, you know, but I didn't think anything was gonna entertain after watching that that 6-man match.
uh-huh.
I'm thinking, oh, well, it's just gonna be a little slobber knocker here. They're gonna do some crazy stuff, but the shit they did was just unprecedented,
Yeah,
man.
definitely. It definitely is the most memorable. Let's put it this way: as crazy as that 6-man match is, I left remembering the Joey Janela John Moxley match more. You
Yeah,
know, even though the 6-man match was obviously a better wrestled match, it's at the end of the day, it's all about what you leave thinking about and what you remember the most. And you remember more of the John Moxley Joey Janela match than you do. And then and also the inverted Dirty Deeds, or
mm-hmm.
now he calls it the paradigm shift, the inverted paradigm shift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that was
Uh-huh.
sick in its own right. You know, onto the tax. I mean, that was sick in its own right.
Ouch. Yeah.
You know, like to actually lift them up into the dirty deeds or the paradigm shift. So
Yeah.
that was a nice finish. So I don't know. I thought the match was great, and then
Yes,
Kenny
it was.
Omega coming out and beating up Moxley to return the favor.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously setting up. They're probably going to be doing something at All Out, is what I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the match that's going to be the one that everybody's going to anticipate at All Out. It's going to be this. Like, I think even more than the title match. Like, the title match is going to do its job. It's going to crown a champion. But there's more storyline built behind this John Moxley and Kenny Omega match than any of the others. And I think even next week at Fight for the Fallen, I think the thing that we're going to be interested in the most is what's John Moxley going to do to Kenny Omega, or what are they going to do to each other? Like, I think that's going to be the biggest question going in, and I think if they don't give us anything, we're all going to be disappointed.
I wonder how that's gonna work though, because Moxley. Remember, Moxley is
Part of
he's
the
also
G1.
contracted with he's with G1, and G1 actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on my calendar there is G1 taking place on the same day as a Fight for the Fallen.
Okay, so maybe there will be
Hey.
nothing. Maybe we'll have to.
Maybe a video
Oh.
package. Maybe a
Yeah,
video
maybe
package.
some type of video package. Sure.
Hey, Moxley's finisher is called Death Rider.
Now it's Death Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess that's the inverted, double on DDT game.
Yeah, I hope he sticks to the inverted one. I mean,
Yeah.
man, that was sick.
Uh-huh.
You
Like
know,
I said,
if he doesn't, it's okay. But the inverted one, which is that extra where you're just like, ooh.
right. Like you said, you just take a simple move,
Mm-hmm.
that you used to seeing all the time. Just add a little twitch,
Mm-hmm.
twitch to it. Boom.
Mm-hmm. So overall, as I said, I would say it's a solid B. Paper free for view, which that's
Uh-huh.
that's the part that I want to sell. Is that we got a solid B. This is all we're asking WWE for is B's. Like, just give me a B, WWE.
Well,
Like, just
well,
give me a B.
There was only one graded C match in this whole free for view.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to see which one was that. Oh, I think that was the one with the gamer guy
Uh-huh.
and
Which was
yeah.
which was for the crowd, right? That was for the
right,
live audience.
right.
So
Yeah, everything else was at least a B minus on up.
yeah, so it's insane that this is all we're asking WWE to do, and they gave us this for free. So in my opinion, it bumps it up to an A, because it was free.
Automatically.
So
It
it's
was
automatically an A, because it was free. And so yeah, I was very happy with the overall product. I think that we've gotten 2 great pay-per-views in a row,
And they improved on their production.
the production was hands down the biggest improvement from Double or Nothing to this. No botched cameras, nothing. It felt legit. Some of the camera angles and things they were doing were very good, you know. So
well, Double or Nothing, I think they had some temps working with them that night.
yeah, man. I mean, and the commentary, Jesus Christ, so much better. Who's the guy that they got this guy Golden Boy, and a Golden Boy is apparently like a gaming streamer. And he, you know, a gaming streamer is doing better than a guy that you're hired to do this job. Like, you know, who's from the NFL. Like, no, like, man, they've got to get rid of him, or say, like they said, we're gonna have him doing backstage interviews. Okay, we'll keep him backstage. You know.
Yeah.
Either that, or he just got a lot to grow.
Don't even show him. Just show his hand holding the mic and the person he talking to.
Exactly.
He'll be off screen.
Yeah, so overall, I was very satisfied with this free for review, and obviously we enjoyed it. We've I don't know if you guys realize we've been talking about it for an hour. So,
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So
That's just AEW. We've
I
still
know we've got. Don't worry, there's not a lot to talk about for the WWE stuff. So,
I don't know. I think there.
I think there is, but I don't know how long we're going to
was-
dwell into it.
Okay, I can cover that for you right now. How
Well-
Raw? It was all right. How
Well,
about
hold on. So now, Eugene, didn't you say one of the G1 has started? The G1 climax has started
Not yet. It's gonna start this Saturday. This
Saturday. Okay, so we'll have more on that next week then. The G1 climax. So there's your NJPW. So now let's move to. We're gonna slowly. I don't know if you guys saw the videos I sent you.
I did.
So
I did. Oh my goodness.
So we're going to
That-
slowly move to Impact Wrestling because D said he didn't catch it. I don't remember if he said he fell asleep or he forgot or whatever. Let's put it this
Well,
way.
no,
I fell asleep while during
I-
it. I fell asleep.
I was having an episode, so I had to lay down. You know,
Got it.
old age and all that. And then before I knew it, it was like midnight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So
Damn it.
that's okay. I mean, the video I sent you pretty much covered the best. I mean, and I will say this. And I need to backtrack because there is another female whose wrestling ability is so good, and I'm haven't been giving her the props. I've always been saying, you know, these are my favorite 3 women. These are the best women wrestlers. Taya Valkyrie is actually a really, really good female wrestler. You know, Taya Valkyrie is up there, and she is a complete package. She's a complete package as well. So I just needed to backtrack and say that, like, I've been giving so much props to Tessa Blanchard, and WWE. For me, it's Charlotte, Asuka. But I think Taya Valkyrie is in the discussion for a complete package wrestler as well.
Yeah. And
So-
I've been giving props just to the women in Impact, because they've been, let's face it, man, at least from the shows that I did catch when I wasn't, you know, sleeping through anything, they have been the highlight of the show
Yes, they have.
for the most part.
Yes,
I mean,
they
I've
have.
been impressed with the improvements that I've seen as for, what did I tell you last time, as far as the character development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and their in-ring action is good, you know. Now all they got to do is just keep giving them solid storylines.
Mm-hmm. I think
Well, people,
Impact has
well-
always been great in 2 areas, like recently. When I'm talking about recent Impact, the women's division, the tag team division. Those have been the places where the women have shined. I mean, the Impact has shined. The women's division and the tag team division. The X division, I don't know where it's really at right now. I mean, yes, this match coming up is Slammiversary between Johnny Impact and Rich Swann should be good. TJP's there, you know, all these things. But they losing, first off, shipping Zima Ion. I get it that they were DJZ. They were trying to do this global wrestling thing. DJZ
Right.
should have been on Impact this whole time. Like, you know,
yeah.
DJZ is that good of a talent in my eyes as far as an entertaining match he can put on. And he should have been
Yeah.
there the whole time. Trevor Lee, you know, he's also in NXT now. So these are guys that they should have just kept on the show. You know, you add Rich Swann to that equation. You add TJP to that equation. You have a solid X division with those guys right there.
And don't forget Willie Mack.
Yeah, but I think they need to go back to the old X division where it's just the lightweights that are doing
Me
it.
too.
So
Well,
Willie Mack shouldn't be in it, in my opinion. But Willie Mack she's a great talent. Just upper mid Carter and maybe
Uh-huh.
a title opportunity at some point. Not necessarily a title win. I don't know how good his character work is. But
Right.
what did you guys think of the snippets I sent you guys on what's going on in Impact?
I dug the Tessa Blanchard video where she was getting attacked by Sami Callihan. Not that I condone it, but I just thought the work that she was able to provide on that little segment was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
No, she can take it.
Yeah,
She's a
I
big
mean,
girl.
oh yeah, oh my goodness,
That's probably
she can hang in there
that's
with
probably
Sami Callihan.
that's probably a drunken weekend for her. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen her match with Ricochet. It's a much-watched match. Tessa Blanchard has wrestled men in the past, and I think that she's all up for it and everything. So, and I think that they picked the perfect guy. He seems dirty enough to fight a girl. And speaking of Sami Callihan, if you guys don't know, he tweeted out the fact that he and Moxley used to be a tag team in CZW. They were a tag team called the Switchblades. And he was basically saying if Moxley thinks he's like this new hardcore guy, like, why don't he come have a match with me and we can see who the better Switchblade is. So he's actually calling out Moxley. And if the rumors are true that they may be able to do cross promotion with Impact, I mean, that would definitely be a match that people would want to see. I know right now it's not 100% set in stone that they're going to be doing cross promotion with Impact. I think they could both benefit from cross promotion work. More Impact than AEW. I'm just being honest. The only thing that I think that AEW could offer, Impact could offer AEW is what I said, the women and the tag team. Because another thing about Impact, and the highlights, of course, were the Rascals pin, get the win over the LAX. Is LAX's contract is up, and apparently both WWE and AEW want LAX. And I've been tooting the LAX horn for a long time. Those guys are talented.
Please, AEW.
I just can't see them going beyond NXT and WWE. And if they do go beyond NXT, there'd be two problems. There'd be two big problems if they go WWE route.
No.
Once they leave NXT, they'll be a jobbing tag team. And they'll have to do some Latino stereotype, even though they are doing it right now. But it seems like right now they're in more control over it. But this would be a Vince-controlled Latino stereotype. And I think that's the difference. Like right now they're doing it. They're doing the Latino stereotyping of we're gang banging Latinos and blah 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 blah. But LAX is just, I don't know. LAX has just been cool. Ever since their existence.
And they wouldn't be able to do half the moves they do now.
Exactly. And that's my biggest reason on why that. So apparently LAX are the hottest free agents come the end of summer. On are they going to stay with Impact? Are they going to go the AEW route, or are they going to go WWE? But,
I think if they leave, I'll just say please go to AEW.
Yeah.
I don't want them anywhere near WWE.
Yeah.
But WWE show they can step their shit up. I don't want any indie talent like we seeing now going to them just to get watered down. Or if they do, go to NXT and stay there.
Yeah, but the money's in the main show. That's
I know.
If you're a talent, you want to get paid for your work, and the money's on the main show. The money's not in NXT. If the money was in NXT as well, I could understand it, but the money's not in NXT. So the way I look at it is, if they leave Impact,
that's gonna hurt Impact.
What's Impact gonna do? Like, literally, it's the women in LAX holding down Impact Wrestling right now.
Well, right now, they need to start get back to their basics. What made them famous in the first place? Get that X Division back online, like they was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the old school.
Yeah, but I don't even know if they have the money to pay, like, the hottest indie high-flying talent, because as I said, they're all going to NXT right now.
Right.
So it's just a matter of what do you do? And right now that core that they're doing this tournament at NXT, which I haven't started watching, those are guys that can put 205 Live on the map. Like, you'll start watching 205 Live if these guys move up to 205 Live. Like, that's the crazy thing about those guys. Like, you know, I've never felt that 205 has had the talent to essentially, you know, make me want to watch 205 Live. If you move DJZ, I forget his name is something Wild now, Joaquin Wild. You know, if you move, you know, DJZ, you know, DJZ.
Okay, Joaquin. Okay,
you know, him, Trevor Lee. I've heard the name ACH. Haven't watched any of his matches.
I've seen him.
So if you throw those guys in 205 Live, like I might have to start watching 205 Live. You know, but these are guys that should be on Impact. If Impact was playing their cards right, they would have signed all these guys and had a crazy stacked X division, and you know, run the X division. And I don't like any of the other tag teams other than LAX right now. I think LAX is you know, they're kind of the flagship tag team of the show. There's really nobody that can hang with them. You know, I don't see the potential in the North. I don't see it in the Daisy Hit Squad. I don't see it in the Deaners. I don't see it in the Rascals. Even though the Rascals are like the you know, second best.
The Deaners.
You know,
I didn't like Diener the first time he was there.
So, like, I just don't see it in anybody else. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where Impact's in trouble if they lose LAX. And Impact's in trouble. And it's after that, it's just the women.
They better fight like hell to keep them then.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
I mean, really, whatever happened to OVE? I mean,
they're just so tied up with Sami Callihan now that they're not really doing tag team work. It seems like,
but they need to let them go back to doing tag.
I agree work. Because you know what, I completely forgot. I mean, the if you've never seen the barbed wire match with OVE and LAX, that's a great match.
Yeah.
So
they can hang with them.
Oh yeah, they could. So I don't know. It's like, I don't even know who this fourth wheel in OVE is. This real big guy. I don't even know who the hell he is.
Oh! I know you're talking about, the one that Sammy got to drag around.
Yeah, the unnecessary guy in OVE.
Yeah.
You know, he's just the unnecessary guy.
I didn't know Callahan had a stint in NXT.
Yeah, I read about that he had a stint in NXT.
He had under another name, and he requested to leave.
Yeah.
Though.
Wasn't he a part of was it Sanity, I think, and then he got injured or something like that?
Was he the guy who was in Sanity, or was it the other new guy who's in OVE, or was it Callahan? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I have to look that up.
Don't even bother. It's really not important.
Yeah, you're a good guy, Eugene. Let's just.
No, because it's gonna drive me crazy.
Okay, well, if you want to, it will drive you crazy. It
gives you therapy.
Yeah, for us, who cares?
Oh, he was Solomon Crow. Okay, never mind.
And now, that I think we kind of summarized Impact. You know, I think we've hit enough to move on, and I'm not even going to divide WWE between Raw and SmackDown. The programs kind of bled into each other, it seemed. I do believe that this Raw was a step up, though.
Okay, it definitely was. Okay.
I got a big question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Well, we both know. Well, I know you know, Jay, that Paul Heyman and what's your boy name,
Eric
Bischoff,
Bischoff,
hired by WWE.
Yeah, they're doing the backstage management, week-to-week management,
Right.
I think, for Raw and SmackDown, something like that.
Do you think that it was a step up because they already started? Well, at least Heyman.
So apparently in the rumor mill, like Taz on his podcast and a couple of other guys said that they saw Paul Heyman some of his fingerprints on Raw. And I'm assuming they must be talking about the intro segment, which, you know, obviously, you know, we'll get to in a second. But apparently Heyman says he's going to it's going to be a slow bleed effect. You know, it's going to be a slow bleed. And Bischoff, I don't know. I mean, let's just put it, SmackDown to me felt like the same SmackDown.
Right.
Like, SmackDown didn't feel any different. Like, you know,
Raw blew it out the water.
Well, Raw, of course, the intro with the whole Bobby Lashley and
Braun
Strowman, and crashing through the LED and having it seem like you have to be worried about this all night, trying to do updates and continue those updates on SmackDown. And
what they didn't start off with a half-hour promo and all that business. They
Yeah.
started
Yeah,
off
that was
with
a surprise.
and then, but the thing is, like, you know, I kind of also felt that they were trying to take some of the thunder away from AEW to show that we can go hardcore as well. But it does seem like they're going further and further away from the PG. Like, they're showing hints.
They are.
You know, Corey Graves saying "Holy shit" when it happened, and
Yes.
that was he was told to do that. It wasn't that he did it on his own. And you know, some of the things they're starting to push themselves a little bit further away from PG, and obviously that's AEW, because if AEW weren't here, they wouldn't need to do this.
They trying to get away from the PG, trying to bring back somewhat of the attitude era. Maybe
Some
not
grit.
as
It's like they're
right.
trying to add some grit to the product.
They are, and they need to.
Of
Now they just
course.
add a little blood to it. You know, they might be on to something.
So, yeah, I don't know how, you know, if this is just to keep Braun off TV, if he needs a break, if he's really injured, I don't know. But, you know, the whole ruptured spleen thing, so, or if he's really injured, I don't know. I know I was looking at something when they were talking about, you know, a WWE star with ruptured spleen, so is it a work? Is it real? I don't know.
Right. Well, I seriously doubt if he had a ruptured spleen before that,
he wouldn't be out there doing all
yeah.
that, right? But let's put it this way: it did at least add something interesting between Lashley and Strowman, and at least for the time that Strowman's gone, they need to put a rocket on Lashley's back and have him just dominating people.
Right.
And this would be a good setup. Yeah, this would be a good setup to go against Seth Rollins, right? Like, and then when Strowman comes back, he goes straight for Lashley. But the thing is, they better not have done this for Lashley to continue to be a mid-card jobber. Like, if they did all of this to have Lashley be a mid-card jobber, it was all for naught anyway. And then, other than that, I don't remember anything else that really... Am I missing anything about Raw?
I got some notes on him.
Okay, go ahead.
I was actually taking notes ever since they announced Heyman and Bischoff, just to see like the difference that they had.
Okay.
So, so we pointed out the last man standing, the whole ordeal in the beginning. I don't know if you noticed in the beginning, when they started off Raw, there was a quick cut. There was a quick cut of the Street Profits from NXT, like just a quick glimpse that they showed on TV, and I was like, oh man, don't tell me they screwed up immediately from the get-go.
That was by accident, brother.
I honestly didn't see that, but I have it DVR'd. I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Yeah, like immediately in the beginning.
They accidentally showed that they was there, so they tried to play it off for the rest of the show.
Huh.
But yeah, I have that note. I have the holy shit comment from Corey Graves. I have too that they have Samoa Joe. He actually beat Kofi clean.
Yeah, that's true.
He beat Kofi clean. He had him.
Yeah, that is true. That I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they always do when there ain't nothing on the line, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it adds some momentum at least for Joe, even though I don't think Joe's gonna.
Joe's not gonna win.
Kofi Kingston.
No.
Yeah, but still, it adds some dynamic. Like I thought they were just gonna put Kofi over as usual, but you know they had Joe submit it clean. I have the whole Maria and Mike Kanellis little shtick that they had.
Yeah. I don't know how much I liked that.
That was a bit cringeworthy. That was a little cringeworthy.
It was super cringeworthy.
I had to put a note on that one.
Yeah,
well,
you did. It's definitely worth talking about. I guess the only good thing is that Mike Kanellis finally made TV, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh god, he's getting TV.
Yeah, but look how he made it, man.
Yeah.
But I got a little comment about it, but you go ahead and finish up your notes because I want to get back to that.
Okay. What else do you have on your notes there?
Plus the other stuff.
Well, hold on, I'm trying to find my notes again. It just went away. No, but I also heard news too that I guess there's heat on Mike Kanellis after that because like Maria's legit pregnant, and this is coming off the heels of Mike Kanellis getting an extension, like a 5-year extension. So now she has to be written off of TV again because she's pregnant. She's legit pregnant, so it was kind of like a cop out. I don't know, but I think that was another like rumor that I saw
Mm-hmm.
in regards to that. And then my final note on here was the Styles heel turn when he
Yeah, I
pinned AJ.
forgot. That is something that I had
Yeah.
down that we need to talk about. But Dion, go ahead and get your comments out on the Mike Kanellis thing.
Well, because it was pertaining to those two and the whole Becky and
I
Seth
really don't
thing.
want to talk about the Becky stuff.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Yeah,
But
like I was
all I
purposely
want to say,
trying to just get over that. Yeah, but go ahead.
well, I hope this is the last time they do any references to them being a couple, because I'm already sick of it. I think they got. I mean, I'm talking about Becky, of
Uh huh.
course, and
Hmm.
Seth, because I think they did a good job with them at the pay-per-view where they had their little spot moment. Us coming out to help her boyfriend, and then this pay-per-view should be the last bit of juice they get out of that run, because nobody cares.
Yeah,
Okay,
no one
they.
cares about
Sadly, the WWE Extended Universe does care, and
I
that's.
mean,
But having Becky beat Mike Kanellis like that,
it. Oh yeah,
she's not
no,
a
that
Tessa
was
Blanchard, and
right,
that's not even a knock to Becky Lynch, but
right.
she's not a Tessa Blanchard. She's not like, I mean, Charlotte Flair putting him in the figure eight is more believable than her making him tap out to the disarmer. Um,
even the move,
But
like the position of that maneuver too didn't even look
it
believable.
didn't like the
she
way
wasn't. It wasn't really locked in.
Yeah,
it
The way of
just
putting the torque on it.
no.
They
And
were just
this
selling the.
yeah
All they
this
did was
this
they
WWE
were just
needs to not do the intergender stuff. They really don't. It's just not.
right.
It's just not
Believe
working. It's not working for them. I know they're getting these ideas from by watching Impact and seeing that, and but Impact has Tessa Blanchard. You don't. I mean,
right.
you've got and Becky Lynch is no
And
Tessa Blanchard. Becky Lynch is
and
no
they,
Charlotte. Becky Lynch is no Asuka.
I'm gonna say, yeah, they doing it with the wrong woman.
Exactly. It's like
So
if Asuka puts a guy in the Asuka lock and he's like, no, like I'm okay with that.
yeah,
I'm honestly okay with that. But
and that's just during sex.
yeah.
So
so
so, but
so
I'm just saying they got their run out of Seth and what's her name, Becky.
yeah.
Don't after this tag team match, let it go. Split them up, let them go and fight. They defend their titles, do their business. And as far as the Canellas, okay,
Well,
they they got they got a possible. They could probably do something with this. They opened the door, and I know a lot of people, y'all you probably saying, well, yeah, just coming out of nowhere, but they actually have a chance to do some dramatic storyline with this. Where he,
I've got the best story they need to do with it.
what
But
is that?
let me hear yours first.
Okay. I'm just saying where he can get more TV time by trying to do maybe a redemption run
No, I don't
for
want to see
his
that
woman.
at all. I want to
What do
see
you
what
want to see with
Eugene
him?
says, where they're writing her off because she's pregnant, and they turn him into the miracle Mike Bennett, who is actually a very talented competitor. The
I could go
miracle
with that
Mike
too.
Bennett was great on Impact. He signs this contract with WWE. He comes over and becomes a super jobber. I am.
Eh,
It just goes to show like what is WWE doing? When he was Mike Bennett on Impact Wrestling, the Miracle Mike Bennett, that guy. You remember I was telling you, dude, this guy has a bright future. And then
Yeah,
to see what WWE has done with him, and now he's even in better shape than he was in Impact. Like in Impact, he looked like a guy you could put the Impact World Title on, and he had the mic skills to sell it. He had all of that going on for him, right?
charisma.
Now, yeah, and you look at him now. He's they made him cut weight, so he did. So he's this 205 guy. He doesn't even need to stay 205. Let's say Mike Bennett. You move him and he becomes a mid card intercontinental championship. I'm not even saying that he's WWE Universal Title talent. I think they've already killed that. That you couldn't believe that from him, right? I'm not saying
Right.
that he's that, but Mike Bennett could at least be an intercontinental level champion and mid card champion that could put on some really solid matches and cut some really good promos. And geez, it's just sad what happened to Mike Bennett from being the
He
miracle Mike Bennett to what he is now.
he can get a reaction
Oh, of course,
from the
of
fans.
course.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that that's what they need to do. But we do need to talk about the club. I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about that because that's a big deal.
Well,
The
so
club
what do you
coming
think
back.
of it? AJ going heel and they reforming the club.
Uh, the only reason I'm okay with it is because it gives AJ something to do that keeps him out of the title picture for at least some time. It also gives him a chance to be a legitimate title contender for Seth Rollins in the future
Mm-hmm.
because he's a heel now and Seth Rollins is a face. Because I don't think there's anybody else on the brand other than Brock Lesnar where you believe could take the belt from Seth Rollins, right? They
Mm-hmm.
haven't built any other heel up to that level unless they build up Bobby Lashley. The way that they're using Samoa Joe is just not believable right now for Joe, and that's not Joe's fault. It's WWE's fault. Um,
Right.
so I think AJ going heel gives him an opportunity, and it actually because Gallows and Anderson have agreed to a contract, but they have not signed it yet, and at least gets Gallows and Anderson back into the work. And with the wild card rule, maybe they can do something interesting and turn Balor heel, and they can
Yeah, I was
do,
thinking about that.
this club, going back and forth between the two brands, just creating havoc, would be kind
Right.
of interesting. Only if and only if they turn Balor heel. Either that, or they're going to use it to set up like the whole feud between AJ and Balor, because he's not willing to go and then they
Mm-hmm.
may end up doing the whole Roderick Strong double cross thing later on, where Balor is going to join the club. Because I'm sorry, as long as I've known about Finn Balor, you can attest to this, D. I just think he's just a boring character to me. It's this guy
Right.
who has a crowd involved entrance, and everybody loves crowd involvement entrances.
Right.
Uh, I don't. For me,
Five moves.
his five moves that I've heard he's better in NXT, but those guys are a lot smaller in NXT. But against real sized, normal sized guys for the main brands, he's limited to five moves. Two of them being the same drop kick, and so it's kind of like he doesn't. So maybe something like this could get Balor at least to be an interesting character to me. Um,
Right.
and yeah, and that's all I have to say about that. I don't know what else there is to say. If you guys agree, disagree with what I said, I don't know.
I agree. I agree.
No, I'm cool with that. I mean, you're a very insightful young man. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think what else could they be doing, and because I'm thinking about SmackDown. I just got done watching SmackDown maybe a few hours ago, and I don't felt like
uh,
any growth. Maybe this possible Kevin Owens
um,
face turn that seems like
now,
it's.
yeah, now you know what the feud between him and Dolph Ziggler does spark interest in me.
It does, but the problem is, look,
But but
I agree with you that could be a great feud. Uh,
but
but what's
doesn't
the
necessarily
outcome?
yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Owens would be face.
Yeah, but they're already having him play up to the crowd,
Yeah, this is
and
true.
so wait, they just turned him back heel, which I'm all for the Kevin Owens heel turn. Like I just think Kevin Owens is. I've stated this many times. I like heels, and Kevin Owens
Right.
is a great heel. When he was a face, he was boring to me. And this, so I don't know what
Well,
they're really
actually,
doing.
when when he was faced, he was garbage.
Yeah, he joined the New Day for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
um, so it's like I don't. But what's the outcome of this? Okay, they're gonna have a feud, but
yeah,
these guys are above having just a feud with one another with this scram together gimmick to get them together. Like it wasn't even an organic thing. It was Shane McMahon is going to put you two in a tag team to go and turn this into a triple threat. Like that's just sloppy writing. And if that's a Bischoff thing, it's sloppy.
I hope
well,
it
I don't
wasn't a
think,
Bischoff then.
yeah, I don't think Bischoff made it there yet.
So that's
Or
all I'm
maybe,
saying. That's
but
all I'm
it
saying.
looked more like no. It just well to me it came off as Sammy. I mean, not Sammy. What the Shane just did it to get him out his hair.
No, I agree with
You know,
that. I agree with what you just said. But
but what's
I'm not
there's no.
buying into it yet. I agree that
But it,
those two could put on a great match.
mm,
I do agree with that those two could put on a great match. Number
or
two, where was
or
Sami Zayn this whole time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another thing I wanted to ask. Is he injured or?
Yeah, I don't know, but Sami
No,
Zayn needs to be on
I hope
TV.
not. He just came back from
Yeah,
like
he just came
double
back.
hiccup surgery.
You know, he needs to be on TV every week. So SmackDown, it's the Ember Moon victory was a cheap win. It was just a
Well,
cheap match. You know,
and
the
what are they doing with her? Because she was one of the top females coming out of
I agree,
NXT.
and at least she's on
And
TV now. But it was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna give you a 5 minute match against Mandy Rose.
I
Go
mean,
out
is
there,
she
get your
coming back
win.
from injury herself?
No, it's just they didn't have anything for her until recently, and
It's,
but all I'm saying is like what was the benefit of having her have a 5 minute match with Mandy Rose for her to win? Like what is the end game like? And I understand it that things have to be slowly revealed week to week, but you're supposed to be invested week to week, and nobody cares. Is all I'm trying to say.
so
Like they're
why
doing
lose?
they're doing such a bad job of building these things up. The only thing that I'll say that they did a good job of building up this week on SmackDown was this Plenish champions out there commentating with the New Day, and then Rowan putting him through the table. Like
Hmm.
at least the Plenish champions are getting some mic time and things like that. So it seems like they're putting some value into the tag team on SmackDown, which
You know,
SmackDown always does. SmackDown always has value into the tag team titles.
I know I'm just a guy on the outside looking in. I'm not behind the scenes, all that. Because we do these shows, I'm speaking strictly as just a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't understand is when you keep saying they don't know what to do with the talent. How is it you could take big personalities and how they sought after talent that's coming out of NXT or from anywhere else, and you don't know how to use them? You can't even throw together a decent storyline or make just a simple feud with somebody, jockeying for position, things like that, where they actually get absolutely no TV time, or when they do, they just getting scrubbed all over the place. I mean, you know, guys like you, guys like who I'm heated about, EC3, your your Bobby Roodes, you know, your,
Oh, so I don't know if you
your
heard.
Oscars.
Speaking of Bobby Roode,
Hmm.
he had formed a little mini stable with
Oh yeah, I heard about
Cesaro
this.
and who is it? Cesaro and EC3.
Cesaro,
Uh,
EC3, and Rude.
yeah, it happened on one of the house shows or whatever. They're apparently called the main event muscle men.
God damn, how do look, man? How,
And
This might be
apparently,
either the worst thing or the greatest thing
well,
ever.
yeah, and apparently it was they were like, well, they're not doing anything else with us, so we might as well.
the,
That was like
the,
kind of the whole thing that they said about it. Like they're not doing
hold
anything
on,
else with us, so we might as well just. Yeah, it was something just absolutely ridiculous.
hold on, man. I'm still trying to absorb this name.
Main event muscle
Yeah, no,
machine.
they're the main event on
Muscle
Saturday shows. Sure, those Saturday morning. Do they still even run those? What was that show called?
oh, velocity or something.
Velocity. Yeah, they're gonna main event some velocities, all right.
They don't have velocity anymore, man.
They got main
Ooh.
event. They got Saturday night, or they got main event.
So okay,
Yeah,
That's
that's
well,
that's kind of
that's
funny.
something they do once in a while.
okay, well,
You
they're the
barely
main
see.
eventers of the show main event, the main event
So
muscle man.
you gonna see them once every 9 months
Hey,
or something?
oh
Oh,
man. So
oh,
yeah.
It's like
that's
modern
just
day social outcasts.
that's just like when I
Uh-huh.
chew my that's like when I chew my medication. That
Yeah.
tastes. Ooh,
Hey, who knows? You remember the New Day? They did something with themselves. They
yeah,
formed
but
their own stable. That was
Yeah,
their creation.
but
yeah,
they
I
had
get that.
vignettes. They have vignettes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
Well,
built up.
hey,
This
we're
just
gonna
came
see
out of
these
Yeah, they
guys.
had
nowhere.
We're
they
gonna see
had a
these guys working out in the gym pretty soon in vignettes.
gospel wise.
That's all we're gonna see.
Uh,
So I don't
uh,
know. If it seems like something that could work if they spin it correctly, like all cheesy.
Mhm.
Because the name is absolute cheese.
this is
So if the vignettes.
the new 3MB or something.
But if they spin it correctly, where they're doing like cheesy vignettes of them in the gym,
Uh,
acting all like they're these hardcore gym rats who are just I don't know.
Yeah.
I go to the gym, and there's those guys that are at the gym that are just over the top ridiculous where you're just like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. It look like he ill-formed.
Yeah, like, maybe if they did something like that with him, it could be interesting. But I don't know. There's, as I said, where's Peyton Royce, Billy Kay?
They've been off
Where's
TV.
the Kabuki Warriors?
They were all in Japan, but I don't know if everybody's back from Japan or what. But I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, Alexa was in Japan and
she's back. So, but I am just confused with who makes the decisions of who gets to get on TV, who doesn't.
I think the final decision is Vince.
And we all know that Charlotte's got to be doing some company work or something, because if it were up to Vince, Charlotte would be on TV every week, like Raw and SmackDown. If we're up to Vince, we know that. And so she's obviously doing some company, PR work and stuff like that, But she's an ambassador and deservingly so. But it's just like I am watching these as I said, with the exception of those two big things on Raw. I don't know how I skipped the AJ heel turn, but with the exception of that, like, what is going on? But we haven't seen AJ in charge of the club. We saw the Balor Club, which I thought was terrible because it's still lame face Finn Balor. So now that they're heels, and
AJ is unofficially in charge because he's the one that's, doing all the leading, as far as...
Yeah, and then when AJ went to NJPW, that's what really, like, cemented the Bullet Club. Like, the Bullet Club were a big deal, but now it's like, wait, AJ's in the Bullet Club? Like, that was a big deal when AJ Styles went and joined the Bullet Club.
Now it's the magazine club.
Exactly. Like, this is legit. And when AJ Styles comes to Japan and he's in charge of this Bullet Club, like... Because, didn't they have a feud with he and Omega jockeying for power of the Bullet Club? Is that true?
I think Omega, I think that was the time when AJ was going over to WWE. He kind of, bid him a send-off by, laying him out on his back and then establishing himself as the leader.
Yeah. So when you have AJ over there, that was a big deal. So I think that this is, a better move, and I hope... Even if it's, reluctantly that, where Balor's trying to hold on to being a face, but they put him through so much that he ultimately joins the club. That would be solid. But that's the...
But if that's the case, you'd think he would have to drop the belt then.
Drop it to AJ. The wild card rules are in effect.
Drop the belt to AJ?
Yeah.
And have the U.S. belt and, have the... Have the Intercontinental belt on
Samoa Joe's fighting. Samoa Joe's fighting for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah,
they could have all belts. Like AJ could have the US. If Finn joins the club, he has the IC.
True, or they could do it that way.
Anderson could have the tag team title.
Or if AJ wins it, or even if Balor.
I like that what Eugene said, where if Balor joins them, they have the US and the IC belt on two members of the club. That would be solid.
Let's just say each belt can only be defended on their own show. Then
that's fine. But what I'm saying is, but with the wild card rule, they could still go over there and jump people together and stuff like that, right?
They have the gold. You're right.
Yeah, it actually will make the mid card worth watching.
Right. Then you can push some other talent that's been in the background for the longest. Like your muscle men, your main event muscle men.
Oh God, the club versus the main event muscle men. I can see it already.
No, but literally, imagine if they're doing. I'm telling you, this main event muscle men. You guys are not looking at it correctly. Imagine if they do some cheesy '80s get up gym rat guys, like they're wearing like '80s stuff and they're in the gym like hyping each other up and going extra obnoxious in the gym.
What you mean, like zebra tights?
Not necessarily zebra tights, but but they look like complete idiots. Like they're wearing headbands and wristbands and everything. Robert Roode with the mustache, and tank tops with like biker shorts and just working out and everything, just looking all ridiculous. Like for vignettes. I'm not saying they didn't do it for the ring gear.
Well, let EC3 grow a mullet then.
And grease each other up before matches, and they show each other like, oiling each other up and stuff. Like, no, I'm telling you. It would be great.
The gimmick.
No,
I'm not knocking the gimmick. The
I'm
gimmick
just picturing it, man.
No,
I'm
but
not knocking the gimmick.
the name fits that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep the main event Muscle Man, then they need to go all in with, how cheesy this gimmick could be that could work.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like,
God.
I'm just still like I'm still befuddled on the actual name, like main.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's
Like,
why I'm
the
saying
name itself.
let's keep it and go all silly with it. Let's keep a silly name and go all the way silly with it, and have them cut like these roid rage promos and things like that. Bobby Roode could definitely do that. So that's all I'm saying is it'd be hilarious. You have this little main event Muscleman, this mid card stable, that, that they fight, who the mid card faces and things like that, and it'd be a pretty little funny little gimmick.
It'd be like WWE's undisputed era.
Oh, no, but they're going to be completely over the top, is all I'm saying.
Right.
Like the name is over the top, so make the character work over the top to fit the name. Right? Because the name is silly. I think Renee Young was like laughing about the name when she was talking about the main event Muscle. Man, I was reading something like that. Like Renee couldn't even really buy it. So the name is just absolutely silly. So why not keep the whole gimmick?
Just ride on it. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the name.
Kind of like what the New Day did. New Day was a ridiculous name, and now look at it.
Yeah.
Everyone's chanting New Day.
Yeah, but of course, they would be completely different than New Day because they're just going to be
of course.
These over the top roid rage looking guys who are just all their vignettes are in the gym, and they're those annoying guys at the gym. Like that's their gimmick right there. Boom.
Just hearing the clankings of weights clink.
Yeah, like dropping it and screaming, like, ah! Getting each other hyped up and everything, and people are just looking at them and they
standing in the mirror all day.
Yeah, looking at each other in the mirror. Oh, no, you look good, bro. No, you look good. Just doing annoying things. And when people give them bad looks at the gym, they go and start trash with them, start messing with them. Like, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, right there.
If that happens, oh my goodness. I think you're onto something there, Jay.
Yeah, but Vince will fudge it up.
Well, nobody listens to the show to even pick up the idea, But I'm just saying, if I were in charge,
that's what I'm saying. If you went up there, you got it rolling, got everything going. Vince will find a way to fudge it up.
Yeah. Too bad they're not listening to the show. They can get some valuable information from us. I think we're giving them some very good ideas here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's my fantasy book for the week, the main event Muscle Men. Like, I want to see this gimmick work, and that's what I want to see from them. These annoying gym rats who grease each other up and hype each other up and get on everybody's nerves and start fights in the gym. Like, that's what I want to see. The main event Muscle Men make it to the the main shows, pulling that gimmick work to me would be fantastic. There's my fantasy book for the week. I don't know if you guys have any fantasy book of the week, but that's mine, and I'm sticking to it.
I don't know if I have anything that would top that, though.
I don't. I have no fantasy book in this week.
All right. Well,
I'm on E right now.
Well, how about I was going to say, well, is there anything you want to say before we sign off? Because we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes, and I think we spent the first hour talking nothing but AEW, deservingly so.
Yeah.
Right.
But we are kind of pushing it. So, is there anything you want to finish up with, other than the fact that you're on E?
Yeah, I'm just riding the coattails of main event Muscle Men. But as far as anything else, no, I think I pretty much shot my load when we was talking about AEW most of the night.
Yeah, and imagine we have another pay-per-view coming up in another week.
Yeah.
So these AEW ones, we're going to have to figure out a way to cut them short. It's just that it's hard to, because it's the most exciting thing happening in wrestling right now.
We want to talk about the most exciting thing.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to earn your spot on this show.
I agree. And I think we gave too much time to to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.
Oh god.
Yeah.
More than we should have.
Yeah,
more
that's
than
why I
allotted.
said we should
More
have just
than
skipped
allotted.
it, you know. But what about you, Eugene? Anything you want to finish with?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to the beginning of G1 Climax on Saturday. I
Mm-hmm.
hope everyone else is.
I'm gonna see what I can do to watch it. Right now, I have so many streaming things that I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could really even afford to choose to pick up another stream. It's not even really afford, like a time afford is what I mean.
Yeah, time afford.
It's not because it's just so much wrestling that I'm watching. Like, I find myself slipping on any weekend there's a pay per view. I'm trying to keep up with everything for the show. You know.
Just a heads up, I think like next Saturday is gonna be like fully loaded wrestling because they have next Saturday Fight for the Fallen. There's G1 Climax, and then there's also
Oh man.
Evolve Wrestling. I think that's like under it's under W or it's like
The NXT Evolve thing, right?
yeah, like they're having like an anniversary show, so like NXT talent and some WWE talent is
Okay.
gonna be part of like their anniversary card, and it's actually gonna stream on the WWE network for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll definitely
so
watch
much
that.
wrestling.
Yeah. And so this is why we have a 3-man crew, so we can all pick our pieces of what we're gonna deal with, you know, because there's just so much wrestling, and
So much.
yeah, and when AEW starts weekly, oh my goodness,
Oh man, we gonna be in trouble.
yes. Well, we won't have to talk about it as long, which is a good thing, you know. But it's just right now because we only get our tidbits here and there of AEW. You know.
It's just gonna be weird to consistently talk about good wrestling for once.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah,
hope.
we can only pray.
Okay.
We can only hope that it will be consistent good wrestling. Like, you know, it may have a bad show here or there, and we'll just have to deal with
Right.
it. You know, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you know next week it'll kind of be a little easier, and that'll be
Yeah.
fine. You know, with Eugene focusing on the G1 Climax, and all we'll have to talk about other than that is Raw, SmackDown, and Impact.
Of course. Oh man, and that next pay per view, that's gonna be on the same. Is that on the same
I
weekend?
think so.
With WWE.
I think so.
Oh god,
That is a loaded weekend.
next weekend is
Wow.
gonna be a loaded weekend.
Yes.
I forgot to mention Extreme Rules too on that weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no, you didn't forget. Don't worry.
Uh,
You didn't forget to mention Extreme Rules. It's, you know, you
Yeah, so
purposely
we
left it
gonna
off.
have Yeah, your subconscious protected you from yourself, man.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
God.
happened there. So,
Oh,
yeah.
but Extreme Rules ought to rock.
Sure. So, I don't know. I guess next week we'll have a bit more, and it won't be as long because there will be no AEW pay-per-view. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm done. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm spent.
I'm spent. I'm spent. Well, we do appreciate everybody who's going to watch this on YouTube because it seems like more people watch it when I post on YouTube the next day than watch it live. But yeah, appreciate the people who are listening to it. Definitely check us out and leave comments. You know, what do you want to hear us talk about? And we'll be willing to give it a shot. But yeah, that's Eugene. That's D. This is Jay. This is Wrestling Wednesdays on Crash with Dash, and we will see you next week. Peace out, guys.
Alright.
See you next week.
Peace.
Happy Independence Day.
Yeah. Oh, me.